If Russia nukes America tonight, the targets. There is a phone that has never rung for the reason it exists. It sits in a bunker beneath a hill in Nebraska, wired to submarines under the Arctic ice, to missile silos beneath Montana wheat fields, to a plane that never lands. For 70 years, the most dangerous machine on Earth has not been a weapon. It's been a plan. A plan so complete, so exhaustively rehearsed, that both sides have always known, down to the minute, what would burn first. Tonight, we're not asking if it happens. We're asking, if the order were given, what does the map actually look like? Not Hollywood's map, the real one. Built from declassified strategy, military doctrine, and 60 years of public nuclear planning history. This isn't a prediction. It's a look inside the logic that has kept the unthinkable from happening, and exactly why that logic targets what it targets.
To understand a target list, you first have to understand a philosophy: counterforce versus countervalue. Countervalue targeting means hitting what a nation values: its cities, its people, its economy. It's the older, crueler doctrine, and it's the one most people imagine when they picture nuclear war. Counterforce targeting means something colder and, strategically, more central. You hit the other side's ability to hit you back. Missile silos, submarine pens, command bunkers, air bases. The weapons themselves, not the cities near them. Modern nuclear doctrine, American and Russian alike, has always been a blend of both. And that blend is exactly what draws the map. The first ring: command and control. Every credible nuclear doctrine begins in the same place, not with the biggest city, but with the brain. Publicly known U.S. command infrastructure includes the National Military Command Center beneath the Pentagon, the alternate command post at Raven Rock in Pennsylvania, and NORAD's Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado, carved into granite during the Cold War specifically to survive a strike. Strategically, disabling a nation's ability to communicate an order is worth more than any single city. A nation that cannot command its forces cannot retaliate, and a nation that cannot retaliate loses its deterrent value in an instant. This is why in every open-source strategic study since the 1960s, command and control nodes sit at the very top of any theoretical target set, long before population centers do.
The second ring: the nuclear triad itself. The United States built its deterrent on 3 legs, deliberately, so that no single strike could remove all of them. Land-based missiles, Minuteman III silos dispersed across Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Colorado. There are hundreds of them, spread so widely across the Great Plains that destroying the force would require an enormous number of separate strikes, which is precisely the point. It's not one target, it's a field of them, built to absorb a first strike and still answer back. Submarines. The fleet operating from Naval Base Kitsap in Washington and Naval Submarine Base Kings Bay in Georgia. These are, by design, the hardest leg to find and the most survivable, which is why military analysts have long called the submarine fleet the assured part of assured destruction. Bombers. The long-range fleet based at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. In pure counterforce doctrine, these become priority targets, not because of what surrounds them, but because of what they carry.
The human cost. Why cities enter the equation. Here is the part strategy documents describe in cold percentages, and the part that documentaries exist to make human again. Even a purely counterforce strategy doesn't stay clean. Many of the silo fields sit near small Great Plains towns. Submarine bases sit beside coastal cities. Bomber bases sit within commuting distance of major metros. The blend of counterforce and countervalue doctrine means that in almost every historical war planning study, American Rand Corporation papers from the Cold War, Soviet military archives released after 1991,
The largest population and industrial centers were never fully separable from the military map. New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Chicago appear in Cold War-era Soviet planning studies not as symbols, but as combined political, economic, and logistics hubs. This is the part strategists rarely say out loud in public. Deterrence has never really been about winning. It's about making the cost so total, so inseparable from ordinary life, that neither side ever tests the theory.
The chilling truth isn't the target list. It's that both sides have known it in detail for generations and built an entire architecture of hotlines, treaties, and early warning systems specifically to make sure it stays theoretical. The Cuban Missile Crisis, the 1983 Able Archer Scare, the false alarms of 1979 and 1995. Each time, the system held, not because the missiles got weaker, but because the people holding the authority chose again and again to wait for confirmation instead of retaliating on instinct. That's the real legacy of the target map. Not a story about weapons, but a 70-year story about restraint.
If this kind of history, the kind that explains not just what happened, but the hidden logic underneath it, is what keeps you here, subscribe. There's a lot more of it coming.